I've heard you say that there's a difference between an independent consultant and being a consultant. Can you just clarify that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So now we've bridged the gap, right? We've talked about the difference between being an internal employee and now working as an consultant at a firm. Now, when you move into independent consulting, you're going to take on even more responsibility. And once again, that comes with a huge pay raise and it comes with a huge flexibility, a lifestyle flexibility boost. And I'll explain that. So, how could we possibly have more responsibility? That's what I imagine people thinking. Like, you just described something that's insane. How could I have more responsibility than that? Number one, you're going to get used to it. You get comfortable with it. You'll get in your flow. It's all about time management. And so the good and bad about freelancing is that now you run the business. Now you find the clients. Now you send the invoices. You write the contracts. You put the statements of work together. You do the sales pitch. You complete the projects. If you don't know how to do something, there's no one to turn to. It is you. If you screw up the project, it's on you. Now you need to have your background in place. You've got the Salesforce Ohana. You should be in some tight-knit communities for people that you can fall back on and say, hey, I need some help with this. Could I pay you this rate and pull you into this project to help bail me out? You need those relationships in place if you're going to be successful at scale. But those are the hard parts. That's the negative side of it. You got to be ready to have your business bank account, have your LLC set up. All this stuff's super easy, but you have to do it. Sending your own invoices, determining payment terms, locking down contracts, quoting the number of hours that the project is going to take, client interfacing, 100%, it's on you. So that's the downside, right? That's why you're going to get paid more money and why you're going to have more flexibility. So how do you have more flexibility? So imagine this, like a consultant typically works, say 45 to 55 hours a week, if we're being honest. A lot of people don't realize how much time they spend at their jobs or researching or doing work or thinking about work. If we're being real, you're probably doing 45 to 55 hours on a typical week. When we come out of that and you look at freelancing, you can spend 10 hours a week trying to secure new clients. Actually, let's tone that down. It's probably 5 hours a week trying to secure new clients and keep a flow going. And then let's say you spend 10 hours a week doing regular work, actual billable work. So you're only billing 40 hours a month. So those are the two things you're doing. You're doing sort of these ancillary things for 5 hours, and you're doing serious work for 10 hours. Now, the cool thing is when you work as an independent consultant, you're going to make at least $100 an hour. So you're very quickly going to be making $1,000 a week, and then you're going to make $55,000 a year working 10-hour weeks. And that's just on the cuff. I have some people in my freelance group that are charging upwards of $180 an hour. I personally charge $130 an hour. It's something I'm comfortable with. And I have other people who are new to it and they're charging maybe $50, $60, $70, $80 an hour, just depending on the clients that they find. So it's all different there. But typically in the freelance space, especially when you exploit the managed services agreement strategy, and we can talk about that if you want to. Once you start utilizing this managed services strategy, you can very quickly do similar things to what I'm doing, and you can work 15, 20 billable hours a week, and you can bring in easily $200,000. And definitely poised in a position where if you wanted to work those 45, 55-hour weeks, you could very handily be making $250,000, $350,000. But keep in mind, there is responsibility there where you run the show. You send the invoices, you call out the clients when they're not paying their invoices, and everything in between. So it's all on you. You're paying your own payroll taxes and estimated taxes and all that kind of stuff too. So it's a lot that goes into it. Don't take it lightly, but it's a great way to make money. And even if you don't want to do it full time, you can work your day job and pick up a freelance client on the side for, say, 10 hours a month, and you can still make an extra, $10,000, $15,000 a year really handily. So I really do think freelancing, if you have Salesforce skill and you want to make some extra money, it's a no-brainer. You should look at picking up a freelance client.
It's awesome, man.